Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I hope you've been able to keep up your practice. I really miss practicing at Sarvam myself. I've seen some great classes from our teachers, including from our amazing teacher trainees. I hope you've been enjoying them. Today I'm going to offer you a class really similar to what I might normally do at Sarvam, so a lot of strength-based work, nice and sweaty. It'll be probably just a bit over an hour. We'll see how we go. As always, my classes are open. They are challenging, but if you are a complete beginner, don't worry, just do what you can. As long as you listen to your body, it won't be dangerous, but at any point, if you feel like it's too much, just come and take a rest. There's no pressure with anything, and more than anything, just remember to have some fun. We'll get started off just dynamically with a warm-up with downward facing dog. So just get on your mat, maybe begin to bend one knee then the other. You can move in any way you want in downward facing dog. Do a warm-up that works for you. Maybe sinking one heel then the other, walking it out so we speak. You can even walk your feet off the mat and then back in, maybe bringing one foot over the other, pressing back. Feels kind of nice. Maybe even then coming forward high up on the toes, rolling forward to a plank position. Once you're in plank, lifting one hand and then the other. These are just suggestions. It's your own practice. Beyond turning up and breathing, moving a bit, do whatever you like. Maybe bring one hand forward, then back. Maybe off the mat and then back into the mat. Back to downward facing dog. All right, let's lift up the right leg nice and high. Try not to lift up your right hip to lift your leg up. Sink your left heel down and lift your right leg from the inner thigh, keeping the hips in line with each other. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, bring the knee in towards the chest and step the right foot in between your hands. Drop the left knee down. So you're in Asana, low lunge. From here, left hand goes onto left hip. And let's just sink the hips down a little bit as you begin to circle the right hand back. Just find some easy movement here. Depending on your shoulder mobility, you might sort of take quite narrow circles. You might be able to take quite wide circles. It's all good as long as your shoulder's working. Then come forward. Breathing here while you can. Take a second here. Inhale, lift the hands up. Sink a little bit deeper into your hips. And hands behind the back. Interlace your fingers, pull the palms away from each other. So rather than trying to push them together, pull them away, broaden across the collarbones and sink a little bit down. Take an inhale here. And an exhale, inhale. And an exhale, pull that clasp a little bit further away if possible, but nothing that makes you feel too uncomfortable. All right, release the clasp, inhale, hands up. And then bring the hands down, step back to plank. Nice easy plank, but bring the shoulders over the wrists. Push the heels away from you. So a lot of people, you see a lot of this kind of action in plank. When you sort of sink into the hips here, you're in the curve in the spine, you can really do damage to your lower back, or at least put pressure on it. So where you are, tuck the tailbone in. Try to keep the hips in line with the shoulders. Press the ground away from you for 3, 2, 1, and we're going to slowly come all the way down. Elbows come back to body on the mat. Bring the hands out, elbows in line with the shoulders like cactus arms. Inhale, lift up the chest, Shalabhasana. Lifting up the legs. Exhale down. Hands underneath shoulders. Bring them back a couple of inches. And then just push up, straight arms into your upward facing dog. Thighs come off the floor. Downward facing dog. Once again, find any movement that feels good. Any last couple of kinks. All right, left leg comes up. Right heel sinks down a little bit as the left leg comes up. Once again, try not to lift up your hips in order to get your leg up higher, but rather really work the hamstrings more by trying to lift from the inside of the thigh with the top of the thigh pointing straight down to the mat. All right, knee in towards the chest, pull it through. Same thing, Anjaneyasana last time. Other side, inhale, bring the hands up. All right, from here, right hand, right hip. And then same thing, just circle the arms around, kind of like the Dharma style of yoga. Sama, if you're watching, I'd really like to have a Dharma class. And just a suggestion, the other side. Easy, nice movement. So just really feel the shoulder working in the socket rather than trying to force it. All right, inhale, hands come up. This time, lift the chest up. As you sink the hips down, really feel your left foot push into the ground and the knee push into the ground as the chest lifts up. And then maybe you can arch back a little bit. Maybe the hands come behind you and the biceps behind the ears. But try and lift up and out rather than really sort of dumping into your lumbar. All right, bring the hands down. Plank position, step back. Hold it here again. Breathing. In this position, hold the posture, but not the breath. Remember to breathe. And lower down slowly. This time we'll take our hands out, cactus them, elbows up. Inhale, lift up the chest. Exhale down. Inhale, lift it up. Pull the chest through, let the shoulders relax. Exhale down. Inhale, lift up. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Keep it nice and engaged. Exhale down. Last one. Inhale, bring it up. Once again, if you feel comfortable, you can keep it up in this one. Keep pulling your chest up and forward. Shoulders relax down. Remember to breathe. Exhale down. All right, from here, once again, upward facing dog. So hands come underneath the shoulders, a little bit back. Downward facing dog. All right, let's walk the feet up to the top of the mat. And feet hip distance apart, maybe even a little bit wider. And just drop the head. Take the chance here just to really relax the neck. Interlace the fingers, bring it behind the neck, and then pull the elbows in so they're coming close towards your knees, and take a gentle pull of the neck down. Nothing that's uncomfortable. And release. When you're ready, push the feet into the ground. Inhale, lift up the hands, inhale. And then exhale, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Doesn't make you feel too ridiculous. Try lion's breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, soften knees. Inhale. Last one, let it all get out. Inhale. And release it down. Come to Samasthiti here. Take a second here. If you thought lion's breath was ridiculous, that's fine. I generally think it's ridiculous too, but it's also kind of cool to get it out. Close the eyes, push the hips forward, relax the shoulders. And just take a second just to reset. Maybe take this time to reflect on, although this is a difficult time, maybe try and make your energy positive for the next hour. Yoga can be as hard or as easy as you make it. Most of the hard work is in your mind. When you're ready, hands by the side. Thanks for joining me. Sun Salutation A, inhale, bring the hands up. You can press the palms together or freestyle it a bit today. Maybe you're just reaching the hands up towards the ceiling, but keep the hips pushing forward. Suck the belly in, forward fold. Drop the head. Inhale, halfway lift, spine lengthens. Plant the hands, step back to a plank position. Shoulders over wrists, a little bit forward. Look forward on your Chaturanga. Elbows brush the side of the body. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And downward facing dog, feet hip distance apart. Ears around the biceps. Press the ground strongly away from you and really try and
Push the thighs back nice and firm, feeling the hips lift a little bit higher up into the sky. Shoulder blades spreading across the back. Look between the hands, soften the knees, step up. Big toes together. As you halfway lift, spine lengthens. Exhale, forward fold. Drop the head and relax your face. Inhale, lift the hands up. Look at the thumbs, stretch the throat. Exhale, straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, spine lengthens, shift the weight into your toes. Plant the hands, step back. Jump back if you want, if you feel ready. If you're doing Chaturanga, go for it. The alternative is you drop the knees and then the chest and the chin to the ground. Slide through upward facing dog or Bhujangasana Cobra into your downward facing dog. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Try to make your inhales and exhales as long as each other. High up on the toes, soften the knees. Step up, right foot followed by left. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, push the feet into the ground as you lift up. Feel the energy in your fingertips. Exhale, forward fold again. Halfway lift, feel that weight shift forward as you lift in your spine, using your belly to lift up. Plant the hands, step jump. Maybe even float back. If you're doing Chaturanga, look forward in your Chaturanga. Try not to go too low. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Breathing in for a couple of breaths. Make sure your index fingers are pointing forward. And that your downward facing dog's not too short or not too long. You should feel pretty much equal weight in between your hands and your feet. Look between the hands. If you're jumping forward, shift the weight forward a little bit, press into the hands. Try and float forward as much as possible. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bring the hands all the way up. Exhale, all the way back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Your choice of the way back down. Remember, Chaturanga, look forward. It's my goal to get everybody looking forward in Chaturanga in 2020. Pull the chest through. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here, remember, instead of downward facing dog, you can always just drop the knees, take a child's pose. Child's pose is also good at any point in the class. It's a good opportunity to get your breath back, calm down your nervous system, and also lengthen the spine. All right, high up on the toes. If you're jumping forward, once again, see if you can just make it light. Use your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bring the hands all the way up. Last one. Come down in your own time. Exhale. Try not to rush through any part of the sun salutations. Take every component for what it's there for, including the strengthening of the Chaturanga and the backbend of upward facing dog and the forward fold of downward facing dog. All right, time to do the first challenge of the class. Bend your knees. Really try and see if you can bring your heels, your butt down to your heels. Now what you're really going to want to do, because it's easier, I mean it's not easy but it's easier, is what you're going to want to do is you're going to come up and then come down. And that's awesome, but it's not the exercise. My challenge for you is to stay low in this exercise. So hug the elbows in, the soft part is your elbows pointing into each other, and then shift forward, Chaturanga. And then back to that squat position. Shift forward, Chaturanga, working the core and the arms, and back. Shift forward, Chaturanga, that's 3, and back. Shift forward, Chaturanga, everything on, and back. Last one, promise. Forward, Chaturanga, woo, hold it, inhale, upward facing dog, be glad that's over. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, look between the hands, soften the knees, step jump, float it up, your choice. If you're handstanding, go for it. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can always catch up. Inhale, bring the hands up. Exhale, Samasthiti here. All right, take a second here. Maybe shake out any kinks. Grab a drink of water if you need one already. Otherwise, join me for Sun Salutation B. Bend deep into those knees, squeeze the thighs together. Inhale, lift up the hands. Ordinarily, you would bring your hands together in Utkatasana. Today, give yourself a break. Have the hands apart to become wide across the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands, step, jump, float it back. Chaturanga, or skip it out for any other modification, including skipping it out entirely. All right, modification of Sun Salutation B. Step the right foot in between the hands, drop the left knee. Lift up the hands, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Bring the hands down. As you bring the hands down, look forward. Try to keep on looking forward as you come down Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Low lunge the other side. Left foot steps forward, right knee drops. Inhale, broaden the chest. Exhale down. Step back. Your choice. Maybe you're even putting in a Shalabhasana there, like we did at the start of the class. Lots of different ways to get in your back bend. Downward facing dog. Remember, child's poses there. It's for you. It's great. High up on the toes, look between the hands. Step, jump or float it forward. Halfway lift. Lengthen the spine as the weight comes forward. Exhale, forward fold. Squeeze the thighs, bend the knees. Feel the weight shift into your feet. Utkatasana, lift the hands up. And let's sit all the way down. Coming into low boat Navasana. Not low boat, just Navasana general. Squeeze the legs together. And try and compress as much as you can the knees towards the chest. In this one, I really recommend having the knees bent unless you're super keen on having the legs straight. But if you feel like your chest sinks down, straighten your legs, you'll get a much better core workout just keeping the knees bent. Hands can always come under knees, especially if it's giving you any lower back pain, support your lower back. All right, hold it here. Let's exhale down to low boat. Inhale it up. Exhale down. Inhale up. As you go through these down and up, try to think of not momentum jerking you up and down with your legs, but actually using the power of your core. And up. Last one, let's hold it here for a few breaths for 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands down, lift the legs up, resettle your back. Take a second here. All right, and let's bring the hands up. All right, so if this hurts the back of your neck, you can always have your hands to support you. You can always have your head down on the ground. It's not worth doing damage to your neck and you'll still get plenty of a good core workout. Bring the hands forward though if you want to join me for the full version. And as the right foot comes down, the left hand comes back. Make sense? Let's switch. And switch. For 6, 5, 4, God damn it, 3, 2, and 1. Bring both hands back and both feet up. Hold it. Now for the hard path boat, legs come down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up to Navasana. And then from there, hands underneath the knees. Rock back and forth a couple of times. And when you're ready, come up. Utkatasana. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, step, jump, float it back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot steps in between the hands. This time warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale, lift up. Palms together. If it also hurts your shoulders, just pull them apart. Exhale, come down. through your vinyasa. I don't know if you're feeling your core from doing those Navasanas, but I really am. Left foot, Virabhadrasana, one on the other side, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down. Come back through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, look between the hands, step, jump, float it up. If you're handstanding, go for it. Just a couple of attempts though. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, Utkatasana. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step, jump, float it back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Warrior one again. Inhale, lift it up. This time we're going to bring it out. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, bring the hands down. Go through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Building heat. Downward facing dog. Left foot, other side. Inhale, lift the hands up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Oh, forgot that one. Left foot, bring it up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cut with the hands down. Go through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Look between the hands, step, jump, float it up. Halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, Utkatasana. Hold it here. Then from here, let's bend the knees once again. We're not coming down to low boat, don't worry. Try to bring the knees, almost the knees over the ankles. Thighs may be almost parallel to the ground. From here, look down at your toes to keep your neck nice and long, and maybe spin your palms up towards the ceiling so your thumbs are out to the sides rather than pointing into each other, and lift the arms up if you can, pulling it over the biceps, over the ears. Really quite difficult. And just breathe here. I know your legs are on fire. Mine are shaking too. For 3, 2, lift those arms up. 1, come up high on the toes, hold it just for a couple of seconds, and then exhale, forward fold. Okay, Bakasana crow pose. If you are new to Bakasana, you can just follow me. If you are proficient in Bakasana, maybe try something a little bit challenging for yourself today. Maybe holding Bakasana for 5 breaths, straightening those arms, or perhaps maybe trying to float one leg off the knee, working towards Ekapada Bakasana, one-legged Bakasana. But if you're new to crow, hug the elbows into each other, lean forward. From here, maybe lift one leg then the other, just playing around with shifting the weight from the feet to the hands. Eventually, you might be able to get to a point where you really bring your weight far beyond your wrists, and then the feet begin to float up off the ground, pulling the toes into the butt, pointing the toes up towards the ceiling, trying to straighten those arms. You can step down or float it back. I prefer to step it back. I find jumping back a little bit difficult in the wrists, but do your thing. All right, come to Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, let's lift the right leg up into the sky. From here, knee towards nose in a plank. And inhale, lift it up. Knee towards nose in a plank. Inhale, lift it up. Knee towards nose. Try, when you're over in the plank this time, pull the knee up as much as you can, point the right toe, and until you step the right foot in between the hands. Drop the left heel. Inhale, come up. Warrior one. I'm going to stay here in these next postures for a few breaths. So take the time to find the posture. Sink into the right knee, pulling the right hip back, lift it forward, belly's engaged, and feet are really strong into the mat. And your left leg in this posture, your back leg, is just as strong as your right leg. Maybe have the palms together, looking up towards the thumbs, try not to strain the neck. Okay, open out warrior two. Right? take the time to find a nice position. Really feel like you're pulling your feet in towards each other, firming into the thighs. Keep the belly engaged. Take a quick look back at your left hand, make sure it's not doing anything crazy. Then gaze over your right fingers. Firm the shoulder blades into the back without squeezing them together. From here, straighten the front leg. Maybe you walk the back foot in a little bit, maybe not a lot. And then lean the weight forward. It's really firm into your right thigh. And then when you have come as far as forward as you can, then come into Trikonasana triangle pose. So for this one, don't get overly obsessed with trying to grab the big toe. Maybe for this one, you think about your hands being more like warrior two hands, right? So shoulder blades firming into the back, then pulling apart from each other. Nice strong legs and lengthening torso. Bend the right knee. Then bring your right hand on the inside of the foot for this variation of Parsvakonasana. Right shoulder on the inside of the right knee as well. And let's lift up the left hand towards the ceiling. With this one, really see how much breath you can get across your chest here as you lift up, keeping the belly engaged. Push your shoulder against the knee against the shoulder. Open up even more. Try and look at your hand with both of your eyes. All right, left hand comes down, left foot comes up. Keep the legs nice and firm. Strengthen the back leg, trying to take out any bend in it as you lift up into a side twist. Once again, firm the shoulder blades into the back, press the left hand into the ground. Find length in your twist. Feel like your head is coming forward. You're lengthening up and through the torso as you twist through the middle spine. Okay. From here, make sure your left hand is nice and strong in the mat and the shoulder blades nice and firm. You can either use your right hand to balance you. You can step back into plank. Hold your plank here. Push the ground away from you. Lift the right hand up towards the sky. See that your hips are stacked as much as possible. Squeeze the legs, finding lots of strength here. Hold and breathe. And come down onto your right forearm, using your core to slow your swivel over. From here, left hand comes up and over. Push the ground away from you. Lift up the left leg, knee towards elbow. I know you can do this. And extend out. Knee towards elbow, crunch it in and extend out. Knee towards elbow, extend out. No excuses, you are so much stronger than what you think you are. 4 and 5. Awesome, well done. I know you did it. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up. On this one, bring the right hand up and over and really feel like you're bananaing out your position here, finding lots of length in the right side body. Push your hips up so you're curving a lot. Reach those fingertips. Right hand comes down, you're in that plank again. Hold, press the ground away from you. Find your plank, firm your heels, lift the left hand up. Really try and lift, see how far you can lift it up for 3. 2, you can hear my voice shaking, it's really hard. And 1, bring the left hand down, look forward, Chaturanga, upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. All right, from here, you can drop the knees, take a child's pose. If you want to take any inversion at this point in time, it's a natural point to give it a go. Maybe in the rocket style, you would take Pincha Mayurasana at this point. You can also just relax and enjoy a few seconds of rest before going to the left-hand side. All right, come back to downward facing dog. If you've caught any kind of inversion in that break, feel free to keep that as long as you want. Also pause, do your thing, it's your practice. All right, left leg up nice and high. Once again, try not to open up the hip, but really lift up from the inside of the thigh. All right, knee towards nose. Inhale. Knee towards nose. Inhale. Knee towards nose. As we bring it forward, suck the knee in towards the chest, point the left toe. Press the ground away from you. Really feel like you're doming your upper back. The more you pull the left foot in towards the belly and point that toe, the more you're going to feel it in the core. Left foot in between the hands, right foot comes down, warrior one. Inhale. All right. Pulling the left hip back, really firm into the thighs once again. Really strengthening your back leg here. If you find this really hard on your ankle, definitely you can walk your feet apart or even lift up your back ankle. No worries. Yoga has to adapt to you and your body, not the other way around. Open up, warrior two. So take the time in your warrior two to find a nice position, really pulling the legs apart quite wide, firming the shoulder blades into the back, finding some kind of purpose in your fingers as they seal together and you gaze over your fingertips. Straighten the front leg. I like to walk my foot in just a little bit, leaning forward. If you want to take a shorter Trikonasana, go for it. But try and find length, expand across the chest until you come down. And then find a lift in your chest, pulling the chest forward almost like you're in a cobra, opening up across the chest, expanding across the collarbones, pushing the hips forward as you look up towards your top hand. All right, bend that left knee. Left hand comes on the inside, Pajvakonasana. So from here, as the knee firms into the shoulder, open up across the chest. Make sure your back legs are firm. Pulling the belly in, trying to sink that left hip underneath your right as much as possible. And trying to, rather than keep the shoulders in the ears, pulling them away from the ear, not crowding out your neck. Right hand comes down, left hand comes up. Firm your back legs, knee over the top of ankle, and really try and push and pull that bend, any bend in your back knee. Open up across the chest, hold here. Suck the belly in, firm into your right hand. Step it back to plank. Take your position, maybe big toes together, heels apart. Lift up. So make sure you're not sort of tipping your hips forward or for hips back. It's a big tendency for people to do that because it's a little bit easier. Once you're there, maybe look up whoop, at your hands. From here, left elbow comes down, right hand comes up. Lift up the right hand. See, look, I can't even see if you're going to be doing this one with me, but I'm sure you can. Right hand fingertips over the top of the head. Right foot comes up, knee to elbow and back. Knee to elbow and come back. Knee to elbow. Keep lifting up those hips and back. Knee to elbow and back. I think that's 3, 4, and maybe that's 6. Anyway, one more, won't hurt. 5. Good. Right hand comes down, so use the belly to lift yourself up for stability. Banana the back, lift up the hips, try and lift up the hips as much as possible. Left fingertips, reach, reach, reach. Really feel the stretch in the side body here. Left hand comes down, firm it out. Right hand comes up, hold. Remember what I said, hold the pose, not the breath, for 3. Easier said than done. 2, and 1, hand comes down. Look forward, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. All right, drop the knees, take a couple of breaths here. Maybe you can sit back on your heels. Take a little bit of time, relax the neck. If you want to take a couple of kicks up into pincher or even handstand, go for it. Your practice, have some fun. All right, time to move on. Let's get the rest of the work done and we'll have a nice stretch. Downward facing dog. From here, Right foot comes up high into the sky. Right knee, left tricep, twist and crunch. Inhale, lift it up. Knee towards nose into the center and lift it up. Right knee, right tricep and lift it up. Right knee, left tricep, hold it here. Lower it down towards the wrist, lift it back up. And back up, three-legged dog. Knee towards nose, tap it down, suck it back up, all the way back up. Right knee, right tricep, lower it down, lift it back up. And lift it up from here. Right foot in between the hands, drop the left knee. Inhale, lift up, Asana. From here, inhale, lift up the chest, and then exhale, take the left elbow over the right knee, find a twist. Rolling the right shoulder back, looking up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift up the hands. Exhale, bring the hands down. Straighten the back leg, lift up the right toes, look forward, and then bend the knees, and then straighten the front leg, pyramid pose. Bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, as you sink the hips, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, sink the hips a little bit more, and exhale. From here, bring the hands back. Drop the head, scissor the legs together, keeping a nice long pyramid pose. You want to swap this out for some kind of extremely long flamingo. Well, I'm not going to attempt it, it's not going to happen today. You can go for it. Inhale, look up, bend the knees softly. Step the left foot in, a few feet distance. Inhale, lift the chest up a little bit. Lift the left hand, expand the chest. Push the weight forward, lengthen the spine. Then exhale, let's find twisted Trikonasana. Hand can come shin, foot, ankle, even on the inside of the foot or outside of the foot if you feel comfortable. But scissor the thighs together, open up the chest. Push the feet to the ground and firm the thighs back as your chest comes forward. Look forward, fingertips come down, lift up the back left leg, stack the hips again, so you squeeze the inner thighs together to reset, and see if you can come up into a warrior three. If you want to keep your warrior three supported, that's great. Try and firm and lengthen into your right foot, push the right big toe down as your left hip sinks as well. Keep the chest lifting. And then slowly begin to bend the right knee and come to a high lunge. Inhale. From here, take another inhale and then twist once again. Left elbow comes over the right knee. Pull the right shoulder back. This time be a little bit more strength in the legs here. So really push and pull your left kneecap up towards the ceiling, firming your left leg as well as bending into the right knee. And then maybe even try and bring your elbow, not just your elbow, but your tricep over the knee there, pulling and lifting up. Look forward and see from here if you can just step the foot to meet the right, sinking into a twisted Utkatasana. Hold here. Tendency for the left knee to come forward. Try to sink it back. From here, if you want to take side crow, you can go for it. You can also stay in twisted Utkatasana. If you're coming down to side crow, maybe just come down, find Chaturanga arms, and then just begin to see if you can float the feet off the ground. Maybe if you're here, try and hold for a few breaths, or give up and come to Utkatasana. All right, everybody back to Utkatasana unless you're doing some amazing transition out of side crow. From here, firm the elbow back into the knee, come high up into the right toes, and begin to push into the left foot to lift the right knee off the ground, trying to keeping the twist at the same time. harder than what it looks. Work on lengthening the spine, lifting the chest up as you straighten and strengthen. Expand across the chest, lift the arms up, get yourself out of that version of hell. Bend the knee in towards the chest, straighten the leg. For 3, 2, and 1. Fly forward, maybe make your descent slow and controlled as the belly comes towards your thigh. Finding some kind of airplane pose. Hands back before the arms come down. Finding standing splits. Once again, look at your back leg. Try not to overcompensate by opening up the hip, but rather lifting up the leg, straightening and strengthening it back. All right, from here, if you want to take a couple of handstand hops, go for it. Otherwise, just go through your vinyasa, grab a drink of water, join us when we're back. If you want to try handstands, I really recommend you also trying to kick off your non-dominant leg. So for me, kicking off my left leg is definitely way harder than my right. So let's see what happens. No judgment, just enjoy maybe trying the process of trying rather than putting any expectations of what you get. After a couple of kicks ups, come through your vinyasa, downward facing dog. All right, I don't know about you, but I'm nice and sweaty, so let's get this over and done with. It's going to be over before you know it, then it's all going to be down the mountain from there. Right, left leg comes up nice and high. Lift the left leg up, left knee, right tricep, twist and crunch. Inhale, lift it up, knee towards nose. Inhale, lift it up, knee towards left tricep. Inhale, lift it up. Left knee, right tricep. From here, slide it down to the wrist, let it hover, and then suck it back up. And lift up. Knee towards the nose, down towards the ground, suck it back up, and up. Left knee, left tricep, lower it down, suck it back up. Woo. And up. Bring the left foot in between the hands, drop the right knee. Inhale, lift up, Untitled low lunge. Really get your base nice and strong as you bring your right elbow over the left knee. In this position, you can really see that if you push your hands together, arms at 90 degrees, you can really create enough leverage to lift your navel up and away from your thigh. Look back. Finding a full twist across the body. Pulling the left shoulder back. Unravel and release. Look forward. Straighten the front leg. Maybe lift the left toes up. Inhale. Sink the hips. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. This one, find a nice, long, strong pyramid. The inner thighs come towards each other. So really feel like your hips are pulling together in space. The inner thighs are sucking in. Any kind of version here is really nice that you want to do. You can just drop the head, lifting up the hips to find more space to drop the head down. Look forward. Fingertips come forward. Step it in quite a way. Lift up the hips. Pull the left hip back in space. Lift the right hand up to lengthen the spine. From here, inhale. And then exhale, find a twist across the body. Your hand will go wherever it's comfortable for you. From here, open your chest up first before you think about opening your hand up towards the ceiling. Really helps make sure you're in line. Pull those thighs together. Pavrita Trikonasana. Twisted triangle is an incredibly difficult position, especially from balance. Push the back heel into the ground. Really bring your thighs back as you lengthen your chest forward. All right, bring the hands forward. As you straighten the hips, lift up the right leg. from the inner thigh and begin to come off the ground. If you do Warrior 3 properly, with stacked hips in line with each other, pulling and strengthening the legs, it's actually really difficult posture. Lengthen the head, crown of the head forward, the feet come back, push into the right toe. Soften the knee, come back to a high lunge. Lift up the hands, reset the body, and then twist over the elbow once again. So maybe even your tricep over the knee rather than just the elbow point. Bring the left shoulder back. Firm up the back leg. So really try and strengthen the right leg. Look forward. Right foot steps towards left. From here, stay in your twisted Utkatasana, bringing your right knee back, or maybe find side crow. If you want to bring your butt onto the left elbow, that's a great way to start to learn how to do side crow. If you're a little bit more experienced, try and do it with just one arm. Chaturanga arms, maybe play around with straightening the legs, or just stay in Utkatasana. Because we've got plenty of difficulty coming up the next few seconds. Keeping that twist, lift the left heel off the ground, really quite a frustrating posture. Lifting and strengthening from the core, trying to keep the twist in the body, straightening the spine as you lift the body up. Let yourself out of that hellish cage. Straighten the arms, straighten the legs, hold for 3. Straighten the leg, 2, pull the knee towards the chest, and exhale. Fly it down slowly with control. Hands come back. Take a second to find a controlled descent if you can, until the hands come down. Find standing splits. So for most of you, your standing splits, you shouldn't see your leg really high from the sky, especially if you're putting in the discipline of not opening the hips up too much. I mean, you can open up your hips. It's a perfectly great way to stretch yourself in standing splits. But if you really push and straighten your right leg into the ground, right foot into the ground, as you keep your left foot pulling back and try and straighten as much as possible, you're going to feel a really deep stretch into your standing leg. All right, bring it back. Maybe from here, try your luck on a couple of other rounds of handstands. Be careful, now's not the time to really do damage to yourself. I promised myself from the end of this, I'll have a steady handstand. Let's see if it works out. Who knows? If you manage to hold it for a little bit, maybe swan dive it down. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Time for a child's pose. All right, we've been going pretty strong for almost an hour, so let's really cool it down. All right, right leg up nice and high. Bend the right knee, bring it in towards the chest, slide it down to the wrists. No tricks, just come into a nice pigeon pose here. A really nice alternative is to really come down onto your right butt cheek. And then from there, just roll yourself down. Try to bring the hips in line with each other. From here, if you want to take the Mermaid or Akapada Raja Kapotasana, go for it, won't stop you. If you are doing it though, try and lift up and out of your hips. Try to find length and lift towards the sky rather than just going straight back. Okay, inhale, lift up the chest. From here, come onto your right butt cheek again, and then just swing the left leg over for Gomukhasana. I'm just going to change position so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so left knee goes on top of right. If you're really up like this, it's actually no problems. You can always just find a position that's comfortable for whatever works for you. Even just an easy seated position is totally fine. Let's release the hips down to the ground by just going through the other side. So just inhaling and exhaling. As you exhale, try to feel like your hips are sinking down towards the ground. You really feel like that connection. Maybe both sit bones are evenly coming down to the ground. Inhale, lift up. Feel that both sit bones equally settle if possible. And then just forward fold, exhale. Take the time here. And if this is excruciating for you, just come out. Okay, inhale, come up. From here we'll find double pigeon. So in this one we'll have the left leg come on top of the right. And so lift your hips up once again. Once again, if this doesn't work for you, you can always just find an easy seated position. But if you're good with double pigeon, that's sort of legs like fire logs, right? Inhale, that's why the Americans call it fire log pose. Inhale, and then twist over towards the left hand side. Inhale, and exhale. Try and lift up and out of the hips, inhale, exhale. Okay, inhale. All right, so from now, I'm going to try and find lotus pose. So you can find half lotus, which is just like this position now. This doesn't work for you, especially for your knees. Don't worry about it. An easy seated position, just like so, will work just as fine. And if you can find lotus, maybe try first with the left leg on top. We'll switch sides on the other side. And then other one, hold it here for a second. From here, I'm just going to switch over to the front of the mat where you should be. I'm going to take it forward. And if this is comfortable for you in lotus, coming forward is probably going to be comfortable for you as well, but test out your knees with every step. Come forward, lifting up. Sink the hips down while keeping lotus pose. Once again, easy seated position. Really take care of your knees. And then pull your chest through. So like you're finding an upward facing dog. Pull the chest through, suck the belly in, roll the shoulders back. Inhale. And if you want, lion's breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, get all those bad viruses out. Exhale. From here, you can. The obvious transition here is through like so. You can either bring your fingertips back or fingertips forward. It doesn't really matter either way. Connect the elbows to the belly, shift forward, lift the knees up, and then come back. Upward, and then downward. Left leg up nice and high. All right, knee towards your elbow, slide it down towards your wrist. Come into a pigeon pose once again. Version that I was taught here in London, which I really like, is coming down onto the hip first, and then sort of turning the body towards the sit bone, and then rolling through. You can really find quite a deep stretch in the hip that way. But equally coming onto the normal way of both hips coming forward, equally sinking towards the mat and coming down works great. All right. Inhale, come up onto the left butt cheek, swing the right leg around. Once again, I'm going to come to the front of the mat just to show you what's going on. Knees on top of each other. You know the modifications by now. As you begin to come back and forth, if you feel anything in your knees come out, life is stressful enough. Why would you give yourself a knee injury at the same time? Coming back and forth. Inhale, lift up the chest. Really reach the fingertips maybe and lift the chin. Feel the chest expand as you inhale. And then exhale. Release it forward. Okay, inhale, come up. Double pigeon. Right shin on top of left. Depending where you are, you might want to just swap this out for an easy seated position. In fact, I'll just do an easy seated position for this one to show you how. So twist towards the right hand side. Inhale, so lift up the chest. Use your right fingertips as a tiny little anchor to twist yourself around. Firm the right shoulder. Make your chin part of it as well. Twist from the neck too. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Last one. Wring it out. Exhale. All right, so for this version, if you are trying Lotus again, maybe switch legs. Getting out of any habits. Take a second to settle it down. You can always try any other version. And for this one, if you are trying the same, I think it's Mayurasana transition, maybe try it this time with fingertips back towards the back of the mat, bending into the elbows, lifting up, maybe trying to lift your chin up off the ground. So it's like, up facing dog. Doesn't always work out, hey? That's okay, it's just yoga. Downward facing dog. All right, look between the hands. Step or jump through. Come to a seated position and lie down. Take a couple of seconds here. So you've got a choice now. You can just really go into the end of the class, or you can join me for just a couple of back bends, followed by a couple of twists, and then into your Shavasana. And anything else you want to do on top of that, maybe headstand practice, maybe traditional Ashtanga closing, go for it. If you really are feeling low on the energy now, maybe just see if you can reset yourself back into the class just by doing a bridge. So feet up, really feel your legs pulling into each other. Maybe even take your hands underneath, sneak your shoulders under and lift up. Really come firm in the thighs and feel that space underneath your navel pulling in, getting strong there as you push your feet into the ground. And feel like your inner thighs are really pulling strongly into each other without actually collapsing into each other. Remember to breathe and come down. You can repeat that, or you can come into a wheel. It doesn't have to be your deepest wheel. But if you are working towards doing drop backs, even if you are quite proficient in drop backs, maybe just work progressively by doing a couple. If you want to do a wheel, you can always come onto the forehead first. Get the hands in position before pressing up. Once again, do your best to breathe in the back bend. Always come up high on your heels, drop your forehead down, make your back bend a little bit shorter. Don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but why not? After a few breaths, come down with control. Roll the spine down, relax the body. I really like to do a twist after back bends. A lot of people like to do a forward fold, your choice. I'm going to take my knees off to the side with Garudasana knees, looking towards the right elbows, breathing here. And to the other side. Anything else extra you want to add on, go for it. I'm just going to take one happy baby, straighten one leg out, then the other. Keeping my low back on the ground. Before taking a rest. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you had fun. I hope you sweated a bit. I hope you didn't take anything too seriously. Remember, yoga is not actually about getting a posture. It's just about the act of reaching for it. And as long as you put a bit of effort in, that's all that matters. Thanks so much for joining me. Enjoy your rest. See you next time.